Ladies and gentlemen, up on your feet. Help me welcome Associate Professor, PhD holder, none other than Dr.
What is the place of vulnerability in resilience? Number two, I'll be looking at your emotional intelligence. What is the place of emotional intelligence in your resilience? Number three, I'll be looking at social support. Is there a place for it in your resilience? I look at self-care as number four, and if time allows, I want to look at personal growth and failure at the end of it. When Dr. Mapam sat up here and talked about how 6 weeks is not enough, the men who are here take this message. When your wives, and not your wives, when you as a couple have had a baby, because many times we are fond of saying, my wife is expectant, both of you are expectant. So when your wife has had a baby, you had it very well, that 6 weeks is not enough. I see a lot of clients and men come and complain that it's been so long since we were intimate, and the doctor said 6 weeks. Tell them another doctor said a year. But on a light note, though, on a very light note, and a serious note for that, this past year, I was humbled and touched when President Jimmy Carter, who is still in hospice care, lost his wife, Roslyn. And I don't know if many of you pay attention to such things. He wrote a personal note to Roslyn. And this is what he said: that she has been my equal partner in everything I've accomplished. She has been my equal partner in everything I've accomplished. I say that to say, tonight, when you go back home, please let's work with our partners and our spouses to understand the place of equal partnership. To understand that being equal does not mean that somebody else has to be down. Both of us can qualify and help ourselves in the family. To understand that we're here to help each other. To understand that many times we run one engine in the family and wear it down while the other one is not running. Ask them that we can run both engines and tap the power of two engines together, and we'll be a better family. Go tell them that I said you will be better together if you can work together, because you want them to come to the end of life and say, you have been my equal partner. Let's look at what vulnerability means. As women, you all know that you juggle a lot of different things, multiple roles and responsibilities. You meet unrealistic standards of not only your jobs, not only your families, but also of beauty. And it takes you longer to get ready, not because you wish to stay in the bathroom that long, but just because you know somebody might say a careless word out there, and you want to come out well. So you juggle many different things. And the Lord, many times, you do not have enough time to look at what you need to do. And therefore, you have a lot of challenges. However, you cannot survive and be resilient if you are not vulnerable. Vulnerability allows us to be authentic. Vulnerability allows us to get in touch with our inner selves. Many times, and I am guilty of this as well, as all of you are, people know us for who we pretend to be. I have sat down with a couple. I sat down with one man that admitted to me, after 15 years of marriage, 3 kids as the products of the marriage, to tell me, I want to be vulnerable with you. I've never loved this woman a single minute. And I said to him, you will do yourself a lot of service, a lot of good, to divorce her and let her be loved by someone else who will value her. We've sold heaven so wrongly, so that people have looked forward to a better life in heaven, even when they are doing the poorest and the worst things here. What if we had sold this place to say, for us to enjoy the heaven to come, we have a responsibility to make this one heaven? Just maybe we need to change the thought that we can be so poor in everything, and then tomorrow we'll enjoy an everlasting bliss in heaven. Maybe this could be the place we can rehearse that heaven. Just maybe we can begin to be vulnerable here. So make a good space where you can be vulnerable. Number 2, acknowledge your emotions without judgment. You are an emotional being. Emotions are your GPS. I use this example everywhere I go. All of you drive vehicles. If your gas tank is almost empty like mine, it's almost that empty as I parked out here. When I'm going back home tonight, it shows a light that there's no more gas in the tank. I will be foolish to blame the light. I will be foolish to blame the light. What is the light telling me? It's time to pull over and find a gas station and gas up. Your feelings just tell you something is not right in your relationship or in your life. It's time to pause and fix it. And yet we blame the feelings when they come up. You hear yourselves in your relationships telling yourselves, why are you always mad? Why is the tank always empty? Because the car is using gas. So your feelings are coming up because you are interacting with someone else and with life, and those feelings will come up. But when they come up, I ask of you to check with your partners, check with yourself. Many of you may be single. Even if you are alone, check with yourself. What is amiss in my system? What is not going right? Why am I anxious? Why am I feeling stressed out? Why am I feeling hateful? Those feelings are okay. There is nothing wrong with the feelings. What we do with the feelings is the problem, not the feelings themselves. So go home tonight and tell whoever is important to you, there is nothing wrong with the feelings. Let's read from them. The feelings are not the destination. They are a map to a destination. Ask them, where are we supposed to go? What is the destination of this map called anger? What is the destination of this map called frustration? And you will fix that at that point. Number 3, on vulnerability, establish boundaries to protect yourself while being vulnerable. Vulnerability is not easy. So make sure that you have boundaries where you can say, no, we are not doing this. Or this is what I want to do. And it's okay to say no. Pastor and I will tell you that because we are counselors. You will come to pay me a lot of money for a session just to teach you to say no. And it's money well spent. It's money well spent. Learn to say no. We are socialized, especially from our cultures, not to say no. Because we think if we say no, we are bad. We are also socialized to put this facade out there and this projection out there that everything is okay. That is why vulnerability is a problem for us. Because all the time, being a Dr. Bore, a Professor Bore, I want to carry the image. I want to carry the position. I am not my education. Get it right. I am not my money. I am not my credentials. And I am not my reputation. I am Sam, the son of my parents, a human being. My reputation, you could hear things about me out there because I'm human. It's been how many weeks? 2 weeks, because we were not able to interpret an emotion. We misinterpreted an emotion. We misevaluated an emotion because we did not have emotional intelligence. Many marriages, many relationships, people have walked away because they misinterpreted just an emotion in the marriage. And when you hear them tell the story of why they walked away, you listen, and the other one says, no, that's not what happened. And they say, no, I know. That's what it means. That's what it means to them, not to you. I want you to have the smartness of emotional intelligence. Number one, identify and understand your own emotions. Our repertoire, the right word to use would be maybe our stock of feelings and emotions is very small. There are not many. If I asked you to name emotions that you know right now, many of us may not go beyond even 5. But guess what? In that 5, what will you have? What won't you miss? Anger. That might be the first one. What else? Sadness. What else? Happiness is always coming number 3 or 4. What else? Pain. Fear. Many of them very negative emotions, right? I want us to really expand that repertoire, if you will, or that list of emotions and understand them for yourself. So to be emotionally intelligent, number one, understand that knowledge. What are these emotions? How do I express them myself? Many people, when you ask them, they're like, I don't know. And we have to ask somebody that you are with to see what you're doing. So be self-aware. Are you a very temperate person? Are you temperamental? Are you a happy person? Who are you? Who are you? I like what Christ asked the disciples. Who do people say I am? That was not the main question he was asking. He followed it and asked, but who do you say I am? Tonight, I want to ask, who do you know yourself to be? Sometimes people say we're temperamental, but we become defensive. Maybe we are. But we have not taken stock to understand ourselves. There are many resources out there. There are many ways we can find out who we are as a people. So make sure that you understand who you are and then develop empathy. We cannot be emotionally intelligent without empathy. You are a very diversified individual. Have friends who are professionals. Have networks there. Many jobs in this country, people get them from networks. So have professional networks, have book clubs, read books with other people that you don't know. So diversify. That social support, the bigger it is, when it's meaningful. That is not the same thing as social media friends. How many of your social media friends can you call them when you are going through a loss? Let me venture to say this as I finish. I see that somebody else coming. Reputation or reputation, but popularity is so hard on the brain. It takes a toll on you. So have real friendships. Number 4, let's move on to self-care as part of resilience real quick. When we talk about self-care, we're looking at making sure that you've cared for yourself. That has been mentioned. I just want to give you tips because of our time. Number 1, prioritize yourself. Prioritize yourself. Self-care is not selfish. In fact, self-care and prioritizing yourself is generosity. Identify them and meet them. Some of you are identified more with emotional needs. They have more. Identify them. Do not deny them. Denying them, they will rear their ugly heads in a different place, and you will not like it. So identify your needs, and then make sure that you take care of your spiritual needs. Again, in the words of my pastor, I did not say take care of your religious needs. Let's separate religion from spirituality. Take care of your spiritual needs. Make sure there's a place for you to meditate, to pray. And finally, make sure you have community service. It helps with your self-care and it helps with your resilience. When people participate in community service, there's a sense of fulfillment. There's a sense of giving. And many times, they take the attention from themselves to the community, and they are not worrying about their anxiety at that point. There is a lot of room in giving out to the community. Our time is running out. I really hate that I will go home with a lot of things that you're supposed to get. And then the other one about self-care, real quick, is make sure that you monitor your mental health. I've mentioned that. And then finally, on that part, and then I'll finish it up. Multitasking is a big fallacy. Identify, do one thing at a time and do it well. Many times when you want to multitask, you do not get the same output. Allow me tonight to tell you this. We were taught and socialized that we should not put our eggs in one basket. Let's put our eggs in many baskets. Tonight, I want to tell you, put your eggs in one basket and then watch the basket.
Watch the basket.
Many of us have put things in different places and we hardly get any returns from any of them sufficiently. Go home, put all your baskets in one basket and watch the basket. And the basket will give you back what you're looking for. Therefore, in your self-care, at every given time, ask yourself, what am I doing now? Do it 100%. If it's time to be intimate with your loved one, be intimate 100%. If it's time to take a walk, walk 100%. If it's time to interact with your children, interact with them 100%. If it's time to call your mom or your dad at home and talk to them, give them all the attention 100%. You will have so many 100% at the end of the day, you will be so accomplished. But when you are talking on the phone and trying to cook, you get frustrated. Number 4, before I finish up with failure. Number 4, for resiliency. Personal growth. I want to make sure that you promote your personal growth. And I like what women have done in this country, especially immigrant women. I've not done the research, but I want to believe and suspect that most of our success, especially in academics, are with women. Is that right? Yes. Now, my species around here, we're not many. We have failed. And let me tell you something. Right now, The boy child is struggling around the world. The boy child is struggling. And for you guys who are here, until and then when we don't just come to our beloved ladies' functions and eat to our fill and go back home, and not sit together and say, when will we bring our boys and men here? The men who are here, plus the men standing here, I challenge us to bring our boys here. I challenge us. When these mothers have been fed and challenged and empowered, and when we have duchesses and duchesses and the little girls have been challenged and empowered, who will they marry? Who will they marry? When our boys are losers. So I hope our coming here is an ambassadorial duty to go back to our men and say, it's time to wake up. Why are our ladies successful here? It's because we empowered them at home without realizing. When the boys were sitting down and waiting for their sisters to make food, to clean their clothes, to take food to them, to pray for their food, and wash their hands, and then still go to school and complete the same homework, and come home and clean dishes, we prepared their minds to be able to organize and do things outside of their homes. They get to the US and they're like, thank God there's a microwave. I don't have to get the firewood. I have time to study. They get to the US and there is a washing machine. I don't have to go to the river to wash clothes. And therefore, I have time to study. My village boy like me is waiting for my sister to make the food and bring the food to me in the US. And this is how we've lost our boys. And therefore, we have to go back and take care of that. So in personal growth, you've done well. I want to challenge those who are still going to pursue this. The Chinese say, if you plan for 1 year, plant corn, plant maize, if you are planning for 1 year. If you plan for 10 years, plant trees. If you are planning for 100 years, go to school. And finally on that, as I talk about personal growth, let me pause for a moment. Please, let your success be felt and enjoyed first from your home. Please, I shed tears many times when I see people coming because they have issues. And what are they suffering? They are suffering their success. Say it again. When people come for help, and what they are suffering is not want, when they are suffering is not lack, but they are suffering their success, I have a problem with that. And therefore, let your success, do not wear it up your sleeves. We should not go to school and be successful and do all we have done only to come and have it break our marriages and our families. Please do not allow it. Let's come home, all of us, and remove all the credentials that we have in the laundry room. And let's walk into those houses as the pure lovers that we fell in love before. Let's walk into those homes as the vulnerable beings that we need to be. Let's get in there with our first names, no titles. Let's wear our titles on our way out the following morning in the laundry room and in the garage. And for your kids, it's not what you live for them that is important. It's what you live in them that is important. Therefore, as we talk about resilience and personal growth, informing resilience, I pray that you'll be a different mother, a different wife, a different sister, because you've worked on yourself. Rumi, the 13th century poet, said this well. He said, I was clever and I wanted to change others. Now I'm wise. I want to change myself.
My name is Eunice Kemanzi, and I came in to celebrate this year's Favored Daughters of the King dinner and meeting. And I enjoyed the meeting because it's a meeting which is born of God, and what we learn as women is something which can keep us going, especially about resilience, because in life things come, and as women we shall be faced with many challenges in life. But when you are resilient, you bounce back. So it doesn't matter what we've faced through the year, we're gonna bounce back and come better. So I expect next year's meeting will be greater.
Okay, have you been in any FDK meeting before?
I've never missed that single one.
So you've never missed a single one. So what would you tell any other person who has not attended any of the FDK events?
Okay, all women out there, I encourage you to attend the women's meeting, especially Favored Daughters of the King meeting. It's a meeting where you refresh your mind by coming in and enjoying with other women. First of all, there's that fellowship of togetherness, social life, because man is not an island. You need others. So women, we need others. You need to come in. And after coming in, you fellowship with people by dancing to the Lord. That's very refreshing too. And also the learning. We learn from scripture. We learn from people who are well trained in various areas. And we also learn about investment, because we have people coming to teach us all that. It's whole package. It's very healthy to come in.
Asante sana. Yes. Thank you. Start by telling me your name and what you came in here for.
Hi, my name is Beatrice. I came in here because I have been coming before for many years already, and I came because I have been learning a lot from this event. So this is the reason that I came. First of all, to fellowship with others, and most important about all, to hear from the people that have, the knowledge, the professionals, and all these other people that we have around here that speak to us.
You said you've been at previous FTK events.
Yes.
What is different today?
I think the one thing that I found different today is the people that have been speaking, and especially the number one thing, the speaker that spoke about resilience, the one person that spoke, the pastor, he spoke about resilience, he spoke about the things that really pertain to women, and above all, what we should do to be more resilient as women. And I think whatever he spoke really was more important. But also, number two thing, the investors, the business people, the professionals, again, the people that presented, especially at the beginning, very powerful. It is always, for me, it's like a way of connection, because I found so many people. I've already actually connected with a few of them that I'm going to be contacting later in the future. One of them being, I myself being a professional, but also connecting with other professionals so that I can also be able to go to that next level.
So do you feel anyone who don't show up to the FDK event is missing a lot?
Yes, they are missing a lot. Yes, and because I have a couple of friends that said, I don't think we had so much before. I don't think it was very fruitful. I don't think it was something that I really want to go back to. Yes, they are really missing a lot, because it's not the same people every time. It's different people. And even if it's some of them that are the same, they will always have a different message. Yes, they are missing a lot.
Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. I know you've already been introduced, but for the sake of people who didn't show up at the event, start by mentioning your name and what you do.
Wow. Hi there, my name is Dr. George Washiri, and I champion, I lead an organization in Kenya called Cultivating Group. It's one of the biggest real estate companies in Kenya with about 600 employees. I am also a trustee of Cultivating Foundation. We are there in Kenya, but right now we are here in America, and we attended this fantastic event. And if you did not attend, next year, make sure that you attend, because Cultivating is going to be here in this Favored Daughters of the King. Favored Daughters of the King. We're going to be here. We love this program, and thank you so much to Grace for such an amazing thing. You know, the management of this event, you have done a good job. We value you, and you can count on Cultivating next year.